I'm going to go to the worksheet called orders, and I want to create a couple of formulas based on the extended price column. So I'm going to select I1. I'm going to select I1. I'm going to do Shift Control down arrow. That's a shortcut to select all the way down a specific column. It navigates you down and selects at the same time. So that was Shift Control down arrow. Now I'm going to go to the Formulas tab of the ribbon, because we have this defined names group, which is where we can go to manage our named ranges, create new named ranges, and use named ranges. If I click Create from Selection, this will name this column of cells based on the header at the top, Extended Price. All I have to do is click OK. Now this column is named extended underscore price. It put the underscore because there was a space, and spaces aren't allowed in the name. But now I actually want to use it in a formula. So I'm going to go to K1. I'm going to create a sum, which I don't like to type, so I'm going to click the auto sum, and it wants to know what exactly do I want to get a sum of. I'm going to type EX. When I do that, I can see extended underscore price. I'm going to double click on it. It automatically selects all these cells related to that named range I just did. I'm going to Control Enter. Much easier to understand this formula because we know it's doing a sum of the extended prices. So now I have a sum, but I'm going to create another formula in L1. I'm going to create a subtotal formula. A subtotal is allowing us to do multiple types of functions. So I'm going to do equal SU. I'm going to double click on subtotal. It gives you a list of all the different functions a subtotal can actually do. So a subtotal can actually do max, min, average, sum, variables. It can do all kinds of different functions. I'm going to choose 9-sum. 9-sum, because I want this subtotal to give me the subtotal of the extended prices. So it puts this code into the formula of the number 9. That lets the computer know that I want to do a sum. So it's a hidden code to the computer. I'm going to put a comma to separate the arguments, and I'm going to use that extended price again. So once I EX, I can double click on extended price. I'm going to Control Enter, and I get the exact same answer. So why would I ever use a subtotal instead of just sum if I'm going to get the same thing? Well, when you're working with data that is columns and rows of information, whether it's 100 or it's 1,000,000 rows and it's 40 columns or 2 columns, it doesn't matter. You're most likely going to want to make some changes to that data. So one of the changes that you might want to do is filter or sort that data. If I'm selected within a range of cells, I can go to the Data tab of the ribbon and click on Filter. Filter is going to give me the filter dropdowns for each of the headings across the top of my data range, which is going to allow me to limit what I'm seeing. So like if I go to salesperson, I'm going to see a unique list of all my salespeople. If I don't want to see everybody, maybe I just want to see Laura Callahan and Robert King. I can select those names, click OK, and it automatically has filtered this list. I have blue row numbers on the left identifying the rows that matched my criteria. And on the status bar at the bottom left, I can see there's 289 records that match based on 1,464 total rows. But the formula for the subtotal has changed. It's now saying that there's only 188,000 plus. So what the subtotal does that is different than a regular sum is it gives you a formula that is specifically related to your filtered data. So every time you filter, the subtotal will change. So I could have a subtotal that's giving me the average. I could have it giving me the max, the min, etc. Different analysis can be done as you filter your data.